Well, hello to all you animal lovers out there. I've had a busy week, and I certainly, like so many of my clients, have really been experiencing a very intense activity that feels very uncomfortable, especially in the heart center. Lots of strong heart palpitations, lots of intensive circulatory pulses, just feeling like there's overwhelming heat and just a higher blood pressure. And for me, that's resulted in a really heavy headache that hasn't seemed to go away. And if you've been experiencing any of these things, just know that your animals are experiencing it too, perhaps even on a higher level, because they're so sensitive to changes in the energy fluxes. And this is exactly where we are right now in this 333 energy. For those of you that are just joining me, I want to give you some insight into what's been going on, not only for yourself and your bodies, but what may be happening for your animals that maybe just seem a little off or lethargic, or going to the other extreme of like picking fights with their pack members, and just feeling a little bit off. That this heart of the central engine of the Merkavik Taurus and this Equinox Ascension waves are activating a multi-dimensional crystalline heart construct. So as you embody more and more soul presence, your heart's magnetism is also amplifying. Remember, it's as well as it's being a brain, it is the source that connects us with everything. So your inner soul pulse and your inner rhythm might be feeling a little bit off. I know I certainly have had some sleepless nights and also been feeling a little bit edgy, certainly in the way that time seems to have no meaning, that time is like really speeding up, and America turned their clocks forward. So they lost an actual hour out of time. And of course, our animals don't live from time as a construct. They're just being the space, but because they're used to sharing our homes and they're so deeply entrained into our thoughts and feelings and emotions, they're also feeling like something's a little bit off because the routine is now an hour off as well. So do your essential protocols, because it's really important in maintaining 0 point at the level of your heart and your mind, and creating calm and a peaceful state right now, maintaining a neutral state of harmony in our emotional and mental bodies is really where we need to practice more grounding and be in the mastery, right? Be in the momentum of it, because that's the best way that you can show up and help your animals. Stay awake. Don't go back to sleep. Listen to your body. Listen to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because we are awakening from this dream, and we are actively working with this new influx of ascension waves. That extraordinary golden diamond crystalline light infusion. It's literally blasting our bodies right now. And even the light, I'm sitting out here and it feels really bright and quite glary. So that's why I'm screwing up my eyes. But, the 5D crystalline global grid that we're all connected to, it is evolving into multi-leveled, higher dimensional overlay, and we have to do the grid work to help the grid stay in place. And this is where I'm always so deeply in appreciation of the sentience, the lions, the elephants that are walking and holding the energetic grid in place on the other side of the earth, from the humpback whales, and how this Taurus that we're all connecting to is spinning on a much intenser level. And ask me about the ignition process, because this is really helping a lot of my tribe to stay anchored and grounded as we feel these big surges on the earth plane, as all the sort of crystalline codes are impregnating your biofield and transforming you, whether you're aware of it or not, from the inside out. So continue to release and clear the stories, the limiting beliefs of the past, and allow your body, your physical body, to continue to unwind from these dense 3D entanglements, where there is a negative polarized consciousness, and all those old operating systems are dying. and our bodies are feeling it. So I always say this: trust your body as your greatest consciousness facilitator, and go at the pace of your physical body, not at the pace of your mind, who thinks you should be somewhere else or you should be further along. Really stay centered and focused on what you stand for, as we begin to see this new earth. And a lot of new beings arriving right now. Just more evidence that the 5D new Earth hologram has fully integrated into the Earth plane. We're seeing more white animals, and this is something to get really excited about, not to be afraid of. Just know that as we sort of move into that full moon on the 20th of March, we're going to break through another planetary ascension, as are your animals. And the animal kingdom is, as I said, going through the ascension processes too. So knowing what some of these ascension symptoms are can really help you better assist them through the process. And of course, you know that animals are messengers, and animals are really teaching us the lessons. So if any of the things that I've spoken about, like headaches, like insomnia, like restlessness, like just feeling a little foggy in the brain, if you're feeling it, your animals are feeling it on a greater level of intensity too. And if you're aware of it, then you can not only help yourself, but you can help them out in the care that you're providing for your animal friends. Because a lot of my clients have been saying, gosh, you know, my horse is totally disconnected to me, and what's going on? And my dog all of a sudden has gone gray, like overnight, or he appears to be very arthritic or stiff, or he's starting to struggle to climb the stairs. And as I said, a lot of people that have been in private sessions with me have been very concerned that their animals just feel lethargic, like there's no energy, or they're having these bouts of hyperactivity. I've certainly seen that with my sister's dogs. Their sort of after dinner romp time has really been amplified, and there's been some snapping and some aggression that's been coming up, because they also need to try and process this in their physical bodies. So you know, always, this is not a replacement for medical attention. So if you're really concerned about your animals, always take them to the vet, check them out, ask good questions, and always trust that you are the one that knows your animals better than the vet. So just know, you know, this is where the value of knowing your animal's dosha or your 5-element type can be really helpful in supporting you and knowing that you're not imagining it, you're not making things up, you're not being paranoid, your animals are acting out of sorts. And it's not necessarily that there's something wrong, it's just that they're cellular level, on a cellular level, they're shifting and changing and recalibrating their own energy bodies. So some are choosing to leave their physical bodies, and others are just asking you to look at some of the things that are going on in your life. So if you see them being more anxious or more possessive of you, or perhaps they're being antisocial and they want some more space, or as I said, being aggressive, just know that they're also may need some support to make sense of what's happening to them on this earth plane. So, you know, couple that with the changes that they are seeing in us, because we're all going through this together. It's no wonder why some of them are acting differently than they used to. So just be aware. Some of the typical symptoms and the things that my clients have been noticing are, as I said, muscle cramps or stiff joints or arthritic movement, that they're maybe limping a little bit more, or they're a little slow to get up, or there's just lethargy, so they look like they just want to sleep all day long. Great place to do healing is when we sleep, which is why a lot of times I'm always so grateful when my cat decides to come and sleep on my chest and keep me still, so that I can just take time out to rest. Or you're seeing the opposite, where they're hyperactive and really can't seem to settle down. Interrupted sleep, as I said, insomnia. I certainly have been feeling very restless at night, and I'm seeing this in the horses and the dogs that I'm in the company of right now. One of the horses kicked his shoe off, because it's almost like he's trying to wake up his legs to make sense of what's going on in his body. And sometimes they're acting as if they've been shocked, right? So there's that flight response where they're kind of waking up, and suddenly, and then they're bolting around the room. It's not always entities, sometimes it can be. And of course, the entities that don't have bodies are also going to be feeling this and maybe a little bit more active than they're used to. So knowing how to do space clearing, knowing how to clear your body or your animal's body of any kind of entity attachment is always a great support for them, and you can learn how to do that in my Being Human Through Animal Communications classes. You might also be seeing changes in their appetite. Either they're not really interested in food, or it's kind of interspersed with this voracious appetite where they wolf everything down and they're still looking for more food. And of course that is affecting the digestive system, where we kind of try to ruminate and digest life and make sense of what's going on. So don't be concerned if you see nausea or vomiting or an upset stomach in your dog. You may also see excessive drinking, so they're drinking a lot more than they're normal. So make sure that you have nice, clear, clean, purified water, that you've blessed it with love available for them, and make sure that you increase your hydration as well to just dispel some of this anxiety or aggression or timidity that might be showing up. Depression's another one that I'm seeing a bit of, especially in the horses that I've been working with over the last couple of weeks, where they just don't seem to be interested in anything that they're normally excited about. And that's another place where you can just ask them and encourage them to just increase their movement. And maybe you can do that by stretching. Dogs love to do yoga, or take them for a run. But just, be responsible, first of all, to yourself, and then be responsible as a steward, as a guardian for your animal companions. I think the best thing that we can always do is to do our own inner work, but then to really be more compassionate, more patient, more loving and kind, to ask the right questions and ask the animal, what is it that I can support you with in this moment? Animal communications is such a great thing to be able to do, is talk to your animals and look at the physical cues first of all, because oftentimes that's going to give you a really good feedback, just as I talked about your body giving you feedback a couple of days ago, of what they're asking for. So exercise or play with them or sit with them or massage them or, rub them or give them a scratch, and just engage in any kind of activity that's going to strengthen that loving bond that you have with your animal companions. What better way to show up than help keep your animal companions' world more peaceful and more calm, than to create peace and calm for yourself. And as I said, healing exercises, just to take a few moments every day to just place your hand over your animal's heart or on top of their head, and just ask for anything that the animal can take from your body that's going to help them to stay peaceful and calm. And of course, just sending love is healing in itself. So you can always add the intention of calming them or being that pillar of strength, that they can be peaceful, they can be calm because you've got them. Really establishing that mutual giving and receiving of trust is very, very powerful. So just think of anything that you're doing right now as an energetic tune-up, not just for them, but for you as well. And just support yourself, be kind, be calm. Everything you're going to do for your animals, do for yourself. Because just like us, as I said, there may be some very unique symptoms that are popping up for your animal pack as a whole or as an individual. And if you have been, like so many of us, experiencing a physical drain of your energy, or you're feeling pulled from any kind of semblance of order, to help with those activations and the healing and the purging and the shifting of energies, energy management is super important. So take time to rest over the weekend and encourage your animals to come and lie and rest with you. Really support them in their process of being pulled from their physical bodies as well. And I love that the birds are chirping in here. I've even noticed it in the wild birds around here, that there's been sort of more air flights and more vocal sounding. So back off, your boundaries being put into place. And again, I think it's important to look at, you know, some of the physical symptoms that you may be seeing of being a little bit out of ease, which is all disease is, you know, the organs, especially the kidneys and the bladder, are very taxed right now. So is the digestive system. So being able to do some Chinese medical massage, I've been teaching these points over the last couple of weekends here to some horse people. And you can learn how to do that too, you know, just follow the energy of the bladder and the kidney meridian pathways to really get that moving through the fascia and moving out through the lymph, anything that the body doesn't require anymore. And as I said, if you're feeling drawn to more live, healthy food, your animals are probably wanting that too. So make sure that as you shift to these higher vibrational, live, green, plant-based foods, and a purer form of water, so too are your animals. So instead of having tap water, you might want to give your animals better filtered water. I love structured water. And of course, you can always put some rosy quartz in there, or some argonite, or some kind of crystal to help purify the water. And of course, blessing your food, blessing the water, it changes its molecular structure as well. So lots of things that you can do that are not going to take a lot of time, but are certainly going to take you out of the worry. So if you have been using your body as a pendulum, I teach you how to do that, or you're just checking in with your animal through body scanning, and you're getting a very clear yes or no or confirmation answers, you can check on this yourself. So, you know, check in with the food. Is this going to be the best thing for your animal right now? Is there any kind of support as far as individual amino acids like GABA or 5-HTP, or a good whole plant CBD oil that can support your animals at this time of great change? And, you know, don't forget common sense. If your animals are old, they may just be going through that sort of normal winding down that comes with aging and decline. And just understanding that and being able to give them better treatment may be more beneficial. You know, I'm always biased toward energy healing work, because it's very beneficial to any animal, and you don't necessarily even have to touch them in order to support them in transmuting through these ascension symptoms. So just remember, if their physical energy is being drained, you can supplement that with energy healing and supply them with the energy that way, so that the energy that they need is drawing from what you or somebody else is providing, including plants, protein, good meat protein, good water sources, and just good old love. And I guess that's about it. So if you have any questions, if you have been experiencing any of those symptoms yourself, if you are asking for a deeper container of support, and you're feeling called to go there and allow me to support you, it would be my honor to do that. But just take it easy. Get some rest, nurture your body, spend some loving time, just being with your animals, nothing to do, just be with them. And let me know how you are doing on your ascension pathway, and I will meet you there. And just a side note to that as well, there's big energies that we're preparing ourselves for. So this is a good time to become a monk and go into your cave and take your animal companions with there. But I will be talking more about some good healthy foods that incorporate great antioxidants that you can start to incorporate into your animal's food, into their dietary needs. So join me for that. And of course, as always, all of this you can find over on my YouTube channel, here on Facebook, and also on my blog at sarahjanefarrell.com. So I hope this resonated with you. Please like it, share it, and trust you're exactly where you need to be in your transformation to live into your brilliant life, and you don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. So reach out and touch somebody today, touch your animal friends, and know that you are so fully supported. And I'll meet you there. All right, lots of love. Bye.